Welcome to I Am Care, I Create. Today we're doing a 2020 overview tarot card reading for Libra. But before we do the reading, let's do a mantra / meditation. Thank you, angels. Beloved you are, blessed you are. Thank you. When one become two, what will you do? What is what is, and what is everlasting abundance, unity, and connection. Perfection. 11:11, the mirror. I love God, and God loves you. Thank you, angels. Please help us resonate with the Christ consciousness of self-awareness and discernment down through our crown chakra into our mind's eye and our thoughts, our throat chakra and our words, and our heart and our desires, in our solar plexus, linking to creation, and our sacral center, what we crave, all transmuting through the mirror of the root chakra. Please let us resonate from the smallest parts of ourselves, atoms, through all the organs of the Christ consciousness, so we may shine the light of discernment and self-awareness to ourself and all others. Amen. And before we do the reading, let's focus our energies on the Libra. So we're going to read this chart on Libra to really zero in the energies on the card here. So if you were born September 23rd to October 22nd, the element of Libra, or your sun sign is a Libra. We are a makeup of many different signs, depending on the date and time that you were born. But usually the sun sign represents the majority of your qualities. Element air, the quality of Libra is cardinal. The colors for Libra are pink and green. The day, Friday. Ruler, Venus. Greatest overall compatibility, Aries and Sagittarius. Lucky numbers, 4, 6, 13, 15, and 24. Again, the dates September 23rd to October 22nd. Some traits of the Libras are strength, cooperative, diplomatic, graceful, fair-minded, social. Weakness, indecisive, avoid confrontations, will carry a grudge, self-pity. Libras like harmony, gentleness, sharing with others, the outdoors. Dislikes violence, injustice, loudmouths, and conformity. People born under the sign of Libra are peaceful, fair, and they hate being alone. Partnership is very important for them, as their mirror and someone gives them the ability to be the mirror themselves. These individuals are fascinated by balance and symmetry. They are in the constant chase for justice and equality, realizing through life that the only thing that should be truly important to themselves is their own inner core of personality. This is someone ready to do nearly anything to avoid conflict, keeping the peace whenever possible. The sign of Libra is an air sign set between Gemini and Aquarius, giving these individuals constant mental stimulation, strong intellect, and a keen mind. They will be inspired by good books, insurmountable discussions, and people who have a lot to say. Each Libra representative has to be careful when talking to other people, for when they are forced to decide about something that is coming their way or to choose sides, they suddenly realize that they might be in the wrong place and surrounded by the wrong people. No partner should make them forget that they have their own opinion. Planet ruling the sign of Libra is Venus, making these people great lovers, but also fond of expensive material things. Their lives need to be enriched by music, art, and beautiful places they get a chance to visit. Libra, the measure of our souls, the shortest myth of them all seems to present a good analogy to the shortest constellation in the sky. You might even say that it is non-existent, presented by a pillar of Scorpio. Libra is one dot off balance in the sea of different extremes, manifested only through the 15th degree of this magnificent sign, an object among animals and people. There is something awfully insecure about Libra, as if they were unsure which plate to burden next, aware that things pass and teach us to be careful around other people. Whatever we do in our lifetime only serves to point the way for our souls towards the higher power, to finally measure our existence, telling us where we went wrong or what we did right. Libra unconsciously teaches us that truth. Liberation hides in lightness. Now that we've read that and we've focused in the energy on Libra, angels, please give us a 2020 year overview for the energy Libra. We'll touch every card, making sure it's upright, counting, so that if it turns upside down, it's intentional. We look at the negative aspects of the card. What is the first card in the middle of the, and lay them out as middle of the year. I mean, the past column is the beginning of the year, the middle column is the present, is the middle of the year, and the future column is the end of the year. And of course, higher mind, heart, and manifest. And the circle of life. Well, that one is really trying to pop out. It's not all the way up there. And that one too. upside down card. Make sure they're all visible. This one here in the corner is the Ace of Swords. You can see that. So, the overall for 2020 of Libra, in the heart center of this reading, we have pains of sorrow over wealth. And this is a disc card, but wealth, we know wealth comes in many different aspects, and the physical manifestation of health, of feeling of spiritual wealth, or just a physical abundance of financial wealth. And it depends on your journey of what that's representing. But it's definitely a heartfelt of sorrow, which is strong discerning energies over a state of mind. And of course the state of mind for that present moment is indolence or lacking and laziness. So let's begin with the beginning of the year, where we have the mind on victory. So the mind is concerned about winning, whether it's wanting to win, or something it has won in the past. It's concerned about winning. The heart is at work, and they're manifesting futility. So right away I get the feeling that this is a thought of wanting to win, feeling you're working so hard, but manifesting futility in the beginning of the year. In the middle of the year, again you have a heart felt of sorrow, of just emotionally almost unjustified, of over wealth, and your mind's in lacking or a lazy thought pattern. And we have the Magus card, which is a trump card, upside down and manifest. So we're going to look that up. Just to get the negative aspects of it. This should be an interesting one for Libra. This is very precise. So we'll go over the card itself. Purpose, self-made. the light, dynamic power of volition, full of energy, and the shadow aspect, aggressive, egocentric use of energy, misuse of energy and qualities, vigor, motivation, and energy. So, at the end of the year, we're seeing a lack, almost in frustration of not having power and energy. So we're feeling aggressive and egocentric, or we're manifesting aggressiveness, egocentric, and the misuse of energy in the middle of the year for Libra. And in the end of the year, we have, this is a special card just to the Thoth deck, and it represents everything in existence. It's sort of like what leads you to understand that everything is part of God, and you yourself is part of God. And this understanding of the mirror and the reflection of your mirror from the inner state of oneself, one's mind, one's mantra of the mind, daily thought patterns, and heart, the emotions we continue to hold in our daily present routine, is what's creating our perspective of our surroundings, and then mirroring our surroundings. So if you're in a state of frustration or and you're feeling down, and you don't have that strong core value of what you think and feel, or what you're creating, so you can come back to that point, you're going to cause yourself more hurt in the long run. But we also have to remember that everything is perfection and is meant to happen. So if you're in that state, you're mostly doing that so that you can learn about yourself, and then from being aware of that, that it's a learning process and a growth process, that you can take actions towards that. And your heart is in the state of your heart emotional state is in a proud, dominant rulership state, or ownership state, and you are manifesting discernment. So it looks like the end of the year, you may actually be understanding everything you went through, and manifesting what happened, and you get to understand the situation. You can sort of see why everything went the way it went at the end of the year. So it looks like you're having a frustrating beginning of the year, to the middle of the year. This frustration is being let out, and after that frustration is being let out, you're actually getting to a deeper understanding of yourself. Your heart's changing to a dominant stand, and you're definitely learning, or taking discernment under the collar, because this represents all the swords, but it's basically, the sword is the tool of division, and through dividing stuff you start to understand it better. So this is the end of the year, you're making more discernment. And I like this crown. It's like the crown that sits, the wreath that sits above your head, and like pictures like Jesus and stuff like that, that glowing crown of deep understanding. So I think we went over the whole year. We can look at some back and forth, or mirroring we'll start with the mind's mirroring victory, mirroring the great deep understanding. So the mind might have been wanting, in a state of want, and that state of want is mirrored over from a state of understanding to the state of want is mirrored over indolence, or the feeling of lack. So you're feeling that you're lacking something, and you're working. The work is mirroring this state of royal rulership, a dominant woman over wealth. So it looks like you're struggling for some wealth that you're wanting, some wants that you, physical wants and desires that you wanted, that are not manifesting the way you'd like them to. And then we have futility to the Ace of Wands, which this is actually a swords card, 7 of Swords. And we have, so this sword is feeling the pressure of other energies around it who are restricting its flow. And this is sort of an understanding of, that's why this year is maybe so tough, because the other energies are restricting the flow of this sign, and it's making it a frustrating experience for the year 2020 for Libra. So overall, again, it's there's definitely a chain of growth in the center of the year for almost all signs. It's like they're having to dig. A lot of the signs have to dig deep and bring something up. This one, seems to be a more surface level problem. It's all right on the surface. There's not any introspective bringing it up. It's right there, and you have to deal with it, and it's causing sorrow. But there's definitely, the end of the year is bringing a lot of information and growth through this sort of discernment. We can do some diagonals. We have futility versus the greater understanding, and that makes sense. Over this, it's very this understanding is concrete, so it's futile. It's very futile to try to live in any other fashion. Becomes just, any other understanding just falls flat. And then you have victory to the Ace of Swords. Well, this Ace of Swords, the discerning qualities, helps you understand what is, and that leads to victory. So, and this state of mind, if you have a victorious state of mind, and your heart is on work, that means you're going to be most likely manifesting more work, and that's what seems to be manifesting at the end of the year, is more work on understanding, and maybe not producing the physical things that you want, but you're gaining a greater understanding of, in a spiritual sense, of yourself. And that's what seems to be a great overtone for 2020, is things coming up, or things on the surface being understood by the end of the year. And I think, let's see if we can go, being in the mind state of lack, but having the understanding of what is, can give you this position of a dominant stance, so you can bring forth that truth into your life, and you'll be able to negate these traits of aggression, or you're liberated to stand up for the information you've understood in a bit of an aggressive manner. The futility makes me think that it's a necessary act to bring out these traits in a bit of an aggressive manner. Hello, we had a little bit of a disturbance there. I'll have to splice the two videos together. So we were going around at the point of this manifestation of standing your ground is coming from this frustration that's being pressure on the sign, and it's futile to avoid it. It's a necessary process. And I think just remembering the points that everything is everlasting abundance, unity, and connection, and we're going through a process of learning. Maybe taking time out to relax might make this a little bit more mild, and that this is coming from the amount of workload you feel that's on you, and your expectations of what you feel you deserve. So I think that's the yearly overview of 2020 for Libra, energy of Libra. I hope you got something out of this, and thank you very much for joining me.